Hello, bonjour. How is everyone doing? Today I'm just going to do a quick live because this is part of my challenge that I set for myself that I have been not failing, but I haven't been keeping up the group kind of rah-rah, cheering everyone on because I've been so busy. Got four big things coming up between now and the end of May. The Wellness Biz Bootcamp is for wellness practitioners. Even if you haven't started your business yet as a wellness professional, so you've just done your modalities and you're still in corporate, this is perfect for you. If I had this when I was trying to jump out of corporate and into the wellness industry, my whole life would have been, I reckon I would have saved 10 years of my life. But then I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, right? Which is teaching others because I'm all self-taught and I had to find my way. I have done business coaching before with a number of people, and I'm not going to name them, obviously, because I'm going to bag them out. I learnt very little. There's many people that I'm referring to. It was sold as one thing and definitely wasn't that when it was delivered. What else? There's times when we were taught things by one person that weren't true. So he would talk about something on Facebook and he didn't actually understand the algorithm stuff, and I tried to kind of jump in and say, oh, it's because of this or whatever, and then he attacked me and said, you can't talk back, and you're being rude and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, all right then. So false information, a lot of rambling, a lot of waffling, a lot of, oh, what's everyone up to? And let's go around the whole Zoom and ask everyone where they're at, and taking, 35 minutes out of an hour to actually catch up with people. And I can't stand it. One of my highest values is value, which has meant I've been an overgiver, which is the reason why this boot camp is 6 weeks instead of 4. Because I've shoved so much stuff into week 1 of this boot camp. I actually had a look at the presentation yesterday because I've run it once before, right? So that was the pilot program. It's like a distant memory. It happened in the past. I don't remember. I had a look at the presentation. I was like, oh, no wonder everyone felt overwhelmed. Week 1 has probably got 6 weeks worth of content in it. And because no one taught me what to do in these business coachings, and I'm talking all the years back to 2015, back to when I was learning modalities in 2005, no one showed us how to do anything. I even booked in for like someone's business coaching, and I've said, like, are you going to show me how to do stuff? Are you going to teach me things I don't know how to do? And they're like, yes, of course. But no, it's all been like a generic kind of program, and they're just getting you to write down your goals and your tasks. And it's like, oh my God. So no one's taught me how to do anything in those courses. And yes, I've learnt things because I've learnt how to do it myself, or, now I teach stuff and realizing that I should be teaching stuff because of the way that I teach, and I'm a good teacher. So we start on Saturday, and it's a 6-week online program. So it doesn't matter where you live, it's all online. We jump on Zoom at 11:30 every Saturday for the next 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Yay. I wish I 6 weeks. And 11:30 a.m. in Melbourne, so you can join from anywhere in the world. That's why I'm doing it a bit later, so that anyone in Perth and all of that stuff. And we kick off this Saturday. So you have to, today is your last chance to join us. You just have to be interested in the wellness industry. You don't have to be already doing it. I'm going to take you right from the start on setup and branding and logo and all that stuff. So even if you do have a Facebook page and you do have a logo and you do have branding, we're going to pull that all apart. I'm going to show you some of the branding that I was given. Again, I'm not going to bag anyone out, which totally missed the mark. And then a process. So when I got someone else to help me with branding, that's when I stepped into who I am through that process, through the logo, through the branding colors, people don't realize that the branding is you. And when this person came back to me with the concept of, I was like, does that look like me? Does that represent me? And it's like, no fucking way. I'm turning 50, I'm gold colors and orange for the sacral and white for purity. And this is like, come on. So I'm going to give you lots of examples of what I've been through and what I've done. And I'll show you screenshots and everything of branding. So we can, and there's Q&A at the end of every coaching session. So you can ask questions and we can go through your individual stuff. There's a Facebook group that's already set up. That's a container there, the group chat, where, you're given blank calendars and all the apps that you need to install and all the tools that you get. And then every week you get homework, and it kind of builds as we go. We start with the basics, and then there's an accountability of basically time spent on the business, because this is one of the biggest problems is people are like, oh, I don't have time, or I'm so busy, or whatever. It's like, no, if you're doom scrolling, if you're on Facebook, if you're waiting at the doctor's office for 10 minutes sitting there, you've got a chance to actually put up posts and create your own. It takes literally 5 minutes, not even that, to set up a Facebook page. That's it. So I go through all of that stuff in week 1. And then the rest of the time is pretty cool as well. And it's just jam-packed full of stuff. And the realization for me was, I went to a workshop recently with 30 people there or something. And the way it was delivered was put everyone around me. So it wasn't just me and I'm a tech person, into overwhelm, to the point where we were having visceral reactions, and I was trying not to cough and dry reach, and I was getting very stressed. My nervous system was starting to fire up. I was not having a panic attack, but we were like, are we trauma bonding over this? Like, the way it was delivered, the overwhelm that she was creating, because she wasn't a trainer and there was no safety there, and we were just like boom, 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 like our brains were just blowing out, and it was horrible. And it actually affected me to the point where I got confused afterwards when I was in the car. And then I ended up in a car park thinking I was going to Aldi, but I ended up at Woolworths. And then I was like, why am I even here? I'm just going to go into the cafe and I'll just eat something. And then, spoke to my friend and said, what the fuck was that? And I was really angry. I was angry that we were set up into that situation and not even finished it, not even given a premise of this is what we're doing. There was no pre-frame, there was no reasoning why we're doing it, what elements of this, so how does it all work together, what do we end up at the end? I was like mind blown. And when my nervous system actually started to calm down and I was eating, I got a cold instantly. My nose started to run and stuff, and I was like, well, this is really interesting. And so another thing happened. Like a week late, I got over that cold, and then another thing happened which set off my nervous system, and then the same thing happened. It's like, this is really interesting. Now that I'm not in fight or flight all the time, right? I can see what's actually happening when I do go into fight or flight. So anyway, that workshop, the realization that I was putting everyone into overwhelm when I teach, because I try and jam so much into it, and it's all so important. I've now made it 6 weeks instead of 4. And it's the same content. So you still get jam-packed, but it's a little less brutal on the nervous system. Anyway, today I wanted to share with you one of the tools, one of my favorite tips to give to business owners, practitioners, doesn't matter who you are. Where's my phone gone? Oh, it's right there, it's filming. Oh my God. Anyway, so I can't step you through it on the phone, but I'll talk you through it. So it's called a text replacement tool. This is on an iPhone. I'm sure Android can do it as well, but I don't go anywhere near Android. So iPhone, it is called text replacement. So you go settings and then general, and then under general is keyboard, and then under that is text replacement. I use this all day, every day for everything. So it's a shortcut tool where you put in the long version of what you want to say and then set a shortcut. For example, when people ring me, like missed calls. So I have my phone on Do Not Disturb 24/7, so I can see when people have called, and then I'll send them a text. And all I do is type in CTC, so can't take call in my head. That's my code, can't take call. And it says, thank you for calling Catherine at Quantum Medicine. Can't take your call. Sorry, I missed your call. Can you get back to me on text and let me know the reason for your call? All right. And it's just CTC. That's it. So that's one of them. I use it for when people see an ad for massage and they contact me and they want to know information or whatever. I've got a set of like my first response. So I just put in, you know, TT1 or whatever it is. And it's, you know, thanks for getting in touch. Because this is my VIP treatment and I only see 2 people a week, I'd like to run you through a few questions as an onboarding process, if that's okay with you. And then they reply yes. But all I've done is press like TT1 and then they reply and then I go TT2 and then that's all the questions. And then there's like a TT3 and then that goes back to them and then I send them the info, which is INFFO. You've got to be careful not to name them actual words because if you're just typing info in a sentence, it'll just, you know, produce the whole thing. And then I send them the information. That's cut and paste job out of Supernotes. So I've streamlined a lot of my processes. When some people have automated things to the point where you're not dealing with a person, I just refuse to do that. So I've got my availability, I've got my, everything is set up like on like a couple of presses of the button. It's really, really cool. I also use it for my own like link shortcuts. So my email, my websites, and I'll just like EMCL, which is my personal email, EMCL, Catherine Lyle, that's my personal, and then EM, so email, QM, so that's my quantum medicine email. You know, IMHS web is my big long integrated men's health website. It's amazing. You can do it for everything. So that's my tip today. Anyway, today's the last day to join because it is a 6-week program and you pay weekly. And there's only a couple of spots left now for early bird, which is $99 a week, which is an absolute steal because I charge $190 if you saw me one-on-one for an hour. What else? I've talked to you about that. So there's a lot of accountability. It's the one thing that is missing in people's lives, I believe, in terms of people getting their business started, their Facebook started, their social started, content, managing all of that, practice management, SMS marketing, like all the stuff that I know and have learnt, I teach to others. So if you're interested, I'll put the link in the comments and get back to me today. And we will go from there and we'll add you to the group and we'll see you on Saturday morning at 11:30. Anyway, everyone else have a great day and I'll be back online soon to talk about the breath work that's coming up because I finished recording it yesterday. It's a beauty. I started to cry and instead of stopping the recording, I actually kept going. So you're going to hear me, well, if they've got headphones on, so they should be able to hear me getting quite emotional. And then I'm sitting there recording and I'm like, I'm burping so much and I'm like trying not to sneeze. And it's like when you put massage oil on, Murphy's Law is you get an itchy nose, right? So I'm like, wow, God, I swallow so much and I burp so much and I hiccup so much and I breathe really heavily because I've got this microphone right in my face. And what started to happen was I had to start clearing energy as I was recording this breath work from my heart chakra. And I was like, oh, my body starts to wiggle and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. What's about to happen? And then to start like singing. And then there's light language. And then there was an angry kind of light language because it's about reclaiming your power. But the angry was like, get over your fucking self and remember who you are. And it was like a tribal woman just came through and yeah, so it is what it is. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to produce it. So I'll put it together with music and sound effects and intro and all the stuff. And that's going to be fun over the next few days because the breathwork is on the 1st of May. All right, so I'll be back online to talk about that more. If you haven't tried breathwork before, if you haven't tried my breathwork before, I can highly recommend it. We have a lot of fun, and it's magical exorcisms, like a mass exorcism. It's really cool because it's got Kundalini activation in it as well, and there's some incredible energy healers that work on the floor with the attendees. So anyway, you have an amazing day, and I will see you very soon.